Ready for a change?
I am talking to you.
Then get ready to explore the quantum possibilities. It's time to transform that outdated paradigm into something universal and new. Time to uncover the truth hidden beneath the veil of lies. A time to think outside the box as we link to a higher consciousness. Welcome to the awakening. And now the hosts of Broadcast Team Alpha, Nori Love and Augie Nost.
Well, yay, it's Tuesday night. I'm so happy. Hello, radiant beings and wonderful warriors for the truth. It's so good to come together with people who are like-minded. And it's so interesting if this change, this shift that we're going through has done nothing for us. I'm wondering if it's helping us to come more closely together with like-minded people. Are you seeking community more? I mean, I am. And it's so interesting because people that, were like in the periphery of my tribe are, moving into the inner circle of my tribe. And I'm meeting so many people. And it's like people like you, people who want to know about the truth, people who want to talk about what's going on. So by popular demand, we're bringing back our special guest that Augie's going to tell you about, and we're going to talk about some stuff. Some of the things that I noticed was there was a picture, and allegedly, Ellen DeGeneres was trying to hide her ankle bracelet. I don't know what other celebrities might have gotten one. And, allegedly those hospital ships might be helping out for Gitmo and not really for the flu. Like people who have the virus are going to go to other places. So there's a lot of stuff going on that we can talk about. And our guest tonight has a lot of thoughts and a lot of intel on it. So Augie, hi.
Hello. Yes.
Hello
again. Yeah, we got Dennis Shipman returning.
And the crowd goes wild. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you got to slow down, Nori.
I know. I had a little coffee and I'm just like off the charts. So
yeah, you're pinging off the walls back there. Anyway, Dennis he carries the title Reverend Dennis Shipman. But he is a metaphysical minister. He's an energy healer, a spiritual teacher, a workshop facilitator, a former business development specialist, and a singer and a musician. I hope he plays the guitar. He has studied, I'm going to ask you that one. He studied and speaks on the great shift in consciousness and the ascension that we are going through right now. He first got his peek behind the door of the unknown when he started working with, I'm going to probably butcher this name, but it's Kahu Fred Sterling. He's a head pastor of the Honolulu Church of Light, which also channels for the Ascended Master Kirael from the seventh dimension of consciousness. So this is going to get really interesting. And he has been on the both sides of spirituality and religion because he grew up in a Roman Catholic family. And contrary to popular belief, the grass is greener on this side. Don't you agree, Dennis? Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And that was a very nice introduction. I appreciate that. Hello, Nori. I love your enthusiasm. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's up there tonight. So actually, you know what? When you're a light worker, I mean, when you specifically came here to be here at this time, it's different. It's way different for me than it is for, some of my friends, and much to my family's dismay. I'm way different to them too. But this is what we came to do. And if we just apply everything that we know, that works to balance us energetically and spiritually, this is going to be okay for us. It really, really is. Do you agree?
Well, it's a time to be a light worker right now. Yeah, and I agree that we've chosen to be here. I mean, in my belief system, if we haven't chosen to be here, we wouldn't be here. So everybody who is here has chosen to be here, whether they like it or not.
Well, I feel a little sorry. I feel a little sorry for the people who have chosen to be here, who are on the dark team, and they're not faring so well. I mean, did their overriding darkness and self-centeredness think that it would not come to this? Because they're not doing well right now.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us realize that we might be going through what we're going through right now.
True. Very true.
Kind of reminds me of Charles Dickens's opening line in his book, A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, and so we got some fear running rampant out there, and some people are actually catching the virus, and some people are making the transition. But I think one thing that we really need to face is that there is no death, and I don't think any of us want to die and to leave, but life goes on, and it goes on this side as well as on the other side of the veil. So this is something that I think we really kind of need to take a look at is, does death really exist? Who are we?
I love that. Can we speak to that just for a minute? Because you're right. You are so right. A lot of people are going to choose to leave the planet rather than go through what's coming. A lot of people are going to choose to leave the planet for their own reasons. A lot of people are going to choose the healing of transitioning over the healing of the physical body. And, my time as a hospice nurse has been such a blessing to me because I've been with those people who have told me, you know what, this is my time. I'm really good with this. And they showed me how easy it really, really is. A lot of the drama and trauma and stuff like that was portrayed in movies and stuff. It's not really the way people do it. People who are conscious and know, themselves, on the energetic and the spiritual levels, know that we keep going on and on and on. And that's the ray of hope in this.
Exactly, and there's no right or wrong about any of this. It all has to do with a learning lesson, what the person came in to learn, the lessons of love. And so I know some people would like to maybe judge the situation as right or wrong, but in God's eyes, there is no right or wrong on this. Yeah, you can either choose to leave or not.
Yeah, the thing about it actually, since there is no death, there's only continuation of consciousness. What happens here turns into a learning experience. So what actually is happening isn't all that important. What is spiritually, that is important.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
It's important that you learn the lesson, whatever that might be that you've chosen for yourself.
For many of us right now, if we're here, for many of us, the lesson may be, and I don't mean to sound like I'm insensitive to what people are going through, because I'm on the phone, like 8 hours, 9 hours a day with people, helping them through this time. So I don't mean to sound calloused, but maybe we are here to learn how to master fear. How to make fear, which is a program, that we were indoctrinated into that we don't have to have, how to make that a no thing in our life, how to make the energy of fear neutralize in our body. That would be amazing.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
That is, that's one of the major lessons of this time, and how to raise our vibration to go beyond fear and go beyond the vibration of the virus.
Exactly.
And one of the other lessons that is staring us in the face is that there is a God, and many of us are not bringing ourselves to that reality, to that realization. Moreover, we're not really bringing ourselves to the fact, and it is a fact, that God lives within us. We are God consciousness in human form.
Yes,
That's
I love that.
the pure fact of life.
I love
And this is what being sequestered, locked down, if you want to use that term, is doing, is giving this opportunity to us to dive much more deeply into our spiritual life. And I would hope that all America and all the world is doing that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people that have these experiences, they may not recognize them as such as an experience, but once we discover who we are or what we are, then we can look back and those experiences that we have open up to us so we will understand them.
Right.
Exactly. Well, we all have, we have our guidance, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're talking about, Augie, from the perspective of, having arrived at the other side of that. But my question to Reverend Shipman is, for those of us who are freaking scared, for those of us who may not know God, because I agree with you, this is not church and this is not religion times, because people can't even go to church. This is the time to live in the kingdom, and the kingdom is within us.
Yep.
But my question is, when people are petrified, when their nervous system is so jangled and their knee is shaking and bouncing, and we say, oh, just raise your vibration, I'm sure they want to hit us. So Reverend Shipman, what could you offer, just a little, spoonful, bite size of way to raise the vibration when you're really out of alignment, when you are really in the middle of fear? How can we ease into that?
Just stop and become quiet. You can either sit in a chair or an easy chair, or lay down, close your eyes, look at the point between the eyebrows, and start talking to God in the language of your heart. If God is not on your menu and you have a favorite teacher like Jesus, or one of the angels, archangels, then talk to them. Just start talking to them. Tell them how you feel. God wants to know how you are feeling.
Right.
Wants to know about your problems. What are you doing about your problems? What do you need from God to help you out of your problems, to resolve the issues and situations that you're going through?
Yes.
And so by doing this, I believe the person becomes calm and guidance. And once you become calm, guidance, then the channel is open for guidance to come through.
Right.
And if you remain quiet, I know the guidance will come through. It does for me. It does for a lot of my friends. It has done it for people that I have counseled in my life. Mm-hmm. And so the guidance is there. It's just, but you have to ask for it.
And we usually don't. Okay, I'm speaking for myself. We usually don't ask for guidance, or we usually don't seek a change or seek something greater unless we are in pain. And for me, I call fear pain. Fear is painful. But I'm just wondering, and I would love to open up the conversation a little bit about the people who are not doing well, on the earth right now. The people, we're going to look beyond the media and the virus. Well, no, the virus is probably going to come into this. But I want to talk about the dark cabal, and I want to talk about how they're being thwarted. I want to talk about how they're being destroyed on some level. Please and thank you.
Well, okay, I can go into that if you like.
Please.
Okay, well, let's see. On March 6th, we received a message from Archangel Gabriel that said approximately 28% of the dark cabal remain on Earth. So that was about 3 weeks ago, and I'm hoping that the number of the dark cabal is a lot less now. Also on that same day, we received a message from Commander Apollo of the Galactic Ashtar Command. And it said there is going to be a complete exposure of the Dark Ones. They're about to be erased from the Earth. And then on a couple weeks later, on March 17th, we received a message from the combined energies of Archangel Michael, the Palladian, Syrian, Arcturian Council of Light, and Adama of Telos. Now, Telos is the very spiritually advanced city underground under Mount Shasta in California.
Yes.
And it said that what humanity is experiencing now is a planetary reset that has been orchestrated by the higher aspects of the human mass consciousness. It's a reboot of all systems. The same way you would shut down your computers and install a new program or software update. So all the systems are being shut down and then turned on again. Mm. And in Benjamin Fulford's new weekly report that was posted on his website yesterday, it says that the battle for planet Earth is reaching a climax as the opposing forces try to use the coronavirus pandemic to achieve their agendas.
Okay, can you say that again? That's really, really important.
Yeah. He says the battle for basically planet Earth, meaning planet liberation, planetary liberation, is reaching a climax. And the opposing forces, which are light and dark, are using the coronavirus pandemic to achieve their agendas. Well, the dark cabal is using it to achieve a dark agenda, and the Earth Alliance and the Galactic Federation of Light is using it to achieve a light agenda, which is the ascension agenda. Hmm. Let's see. The dark forces actually want to regain control of the planet. They're losing control of the planet. Mm-hmm. And they want to regain control through this virus, and their solution is to vaccinate and microchip the general public back into submission. Mm-hmm. And so this virus outbreak is an attempt by the dark cabal to delay the transition from third dimension to the fifth dimension. And as we can see from the channel messages and other channel messages that are referring to this, they will not be able to achieve this goal. But the global pandemic is being used by the liberation forces, the forces of light, to arrest and remove the dark cabal. Mm-hmm. So it's fascinating to learn that these independent messages and reports, both human and divine, are pointing in the same direction towards the end of darkness on the planet and the beginning of a global transformation into the new age, into a new golden age for humanity. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of like some of the talk I wanted to address tonight. This reset, this reboot, this Gesara agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Please do. And I see what you just talked about. It's a channeled message. There are many others out there that is channeling this kind of information, and it is very close to the same information. So I don't.
A lot of the channeled information these days have something to do with the aspect of the ascension process.
Yeah,
it's just about every channel message I listen to. It's either something about the dark cabal takedown, or about becoming calm, going within. Getting in alignment with the God within, that kind of stuff, and also shadow work, doing our shadow work. Those issues in our emotions and minds that kind of keep us in the dark about things.
Well, I noticed, I'm just saying hi to Iowa in the chat room. Hello. I noticed that in my practice, there was a lot of trends that have been going on. And actually, when I when what arises for me is part of the trend, I know that trend is really real, because I had things come up. I had shadow work come up, and a lot of my clients, of course, we worked with shadow work. Then I had a lot of ancestry stuff come up, like really deep, old ancestral wounds that needed to be healed in order for me to be free from that heavy energy that resided in me, that was passed down for so many generations. And I saw that in my clients as well. So anything that is of the lower energies, anything that is not shining brightly is going to be unearthed, whether it's in us or in our life or on the global stage, in order for it to be raised to the light. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. Exactly. Yes. Well, that's what's happening at this time. There is so much cosmic light bombarding the planet that the ascension process is escalating. And it's just escalating.
Yeah.
And it's for, I hate to use this word force, but it's actually forcing all of the darkness to surface so that it can be acknowledged and dealt with and resolved. Now, that sounds very simple, and I know that people go through a lot of trouble sometimes doing that, but that's, in a nutshell, what's happening. The era of transparency is upon us. There's going to be no secrets for anybody. I mean, we're headed into the fifth dimension. Fifth dimension, it has to do with telepathic communication. At telepathic communication, there are no secrets.
There are no secrets.
There are no secrets, and this is what's happening today. Everything is surfacing so everybody can see what's been buried for, some channel messages are saying it goes back to at least Atlantis and Lemuria and before. Some of the channel messages are saying this actual takeover by the dark forces happened 350,000 years ago. It's been locked down for a long time.
Wow.
That is
so there's a lot of shadow work to be done, that not only in the ancestral realm, but it goes all the way back Atlantis, Lemuria, and probably beyond.
Definitely. We have 1 minute to the break. I definitely have a special place in my heart for Atlantis. Yeah,
absolutely.
always have. It's interesting. But I also have a special place in my heart for Pleiadians.
Okay, good. Well,
and now we got 30 seconds left, so let's come back after the break, and I want to hear more about the global reset and that ascension process, because you had some good things on that.
This is the Broadcast Team Alpha Show, hosted by Nori Love and Augie Nost. The one show that takes your doubts of the unknown and spins them into reality. Share your thoughts by calling our hotline number at 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230. Call now. Worldwide callers use Skype name KCOR Radio. More cutting-edge conversation and exploration of the quantum universe after this.
Are you ready? Ready to go inside the Matrix? Inside the Matrix.
You see, whoever controls technology controls the world.
Then tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, as your host, Jimmy Brent, takes you deep inside the holographic Matrix.
Carefully designed to stimulate the mind.
Come explore a world of topics from technology, archaeology, spirituality, and so much more. Inside the Matrix will liberate you from the manipulated, parasitic entities of consciousness.
You guys ready for this?
It's time to claim your true natures as creative, divine beings inside the Matrix. Hosted by Jimmy Brent.
Who are we talking about?
Jimmy Brent. Live Sundays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. Inside the Matrix. Investigating and analyzing the experience of life. Life.
It's great. I think it's great. I think it's
The all-new KCOR Digital Radio Network.
great.
Make a note of it.
It's great.
If ever a breed was affectionate to a fault, it's the Golden Retriever. They're people dogs, pure and simple. And the Golden Retriever Rescue of Southern Nevada needs your help. If you would like to volunteer, foster, adopt, or donate, go to the Golden Retriever Rescue of Southern Nevada's website at grrsn.org. That's grrsn.org. Or call 598-GOLD. That's 598-GOLD.
This is the story of a very special woman. Just a few knew about her superpowers. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Looking for a radio show like no other?
We need something brand new.
Then tune into the KCOR Digital Radio Network, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and get ready for The Quantum Shift. A great shift of consciousness is sweeping across the Earth. Are you ready for the dimensional shift?
It is amazing, is it not?
The Quantum Shift. Quantum Shift. Quantum Shift. Hosted by Dr. Sam Muggsy and Kent Dunn. Be part of the fifth dimensional reality, where consciousness prevails and the universal law of one is the only true reality. The Quantum Shift. Quantum Shift. Quantum Shift. Live Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network.
Going live.
Come explore the quantum possibilities. This is Broadcast Team Alpha.
Broadcast Team Alpha.
To be on the show live, call 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230. Worldwide callers use Skype name KCOR Radio. Share your thoughts of the show on Twitter at KCOR Radio, #KCOR. Or join the cutting edge conversation live in our chat room at KCORradio.com. Now back to Broadcast Team Alpha with your free thinking hosts, Nori Love and Augie Nast.
Yay, we're back. So before we get into Gasara, I want to do a shout out to the chat room. Hello, sexy. Be sexy at any age. Love that. Hello, Tina. Hello, Karen. Queen Bee is here. Iowa Girl is here. Karen, I said hi. Iowa Girl, I said that. I'm trying to scroll. Naj is here. And Summer is here. Hello, hello. And Joe is here. And Love is here. Oh, I love when Love is here. Right, amazing. So just quickly to go back, Iowa Girl, Iowa Girl said, I read somewhere that Atlantis was America. Is that true? My understanding and some of the Edgar Cayce discussion of that is yes, that's what I agree. But we'll have to ask our guest about that, and then we're gonna transition into Gasara. How about that? Hi, guys.
Hello. Yeah, we're still here.
Welcome back.
We're back.
I was playing with the chat room. Sorry.
Yeah, Gasara.
Yeah, no problem. Glad everybody's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So grateful.
Yeah, the global reset and Gasara, that goes totally hand in hand. So let's hear some more.
Okay, so Gasara is spelled GESARA, and it's an acronym for Global Economic Stabilization and Recovery Act, or Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. There's an ongoing dispute about what its true name is, according to the information I researched, but it seems to be well known by its buzzword of Gasara. Yep. Now, Gasara is the most groundbreaking Reformation Act to sweep the planet. Its purpose is to restore worldwide prosperity, peace, and a new golden age that works for everyone and not just for a few. It was voted to be implemented by all 209 sovereign nations of the world that signed the 2015 Paris Agreement on climate change. And now in the United States, GESARA was known as NESARA, where an N is replaced with the G in the beginning of the word, which stood for National Economic Security and Reformation Act. But it was merged with GESARA in February of 2018 when President Trump signed the revised Paris Agreement on climate change. And now there's about 23 key mandates or benefits to GESARA, and I know we don't have time to go through all of them, but here's a few that I think all of the folks would appreciate. And in the United States, this single act does away with the Internal Revenue Service. You don't have to pay any more taxes. The Federal Reserve banking system and the fiat money system, which is connected to it, and the USA Inc. shadow government, which is run by the dark cabal. It does away with all of that stuff. It cancels all credit card debt, mortgage debt, and other bank debt due to illegal banking and government activities, and this has been referred to as debt forgiveness. And we got a soft confirmation from Benjamin Fulford's report in March 23rd when he said his European royal family sources said that a write-off of all debts was in the works. So we'll keep tabs on that. GESARA establishes new presidential and congressional elections with 100 days of GESARA's announcement. Now, I don't know how that's going to affect the presidential election, because should it be announced before the election, well, new elections. And if it's announced afterwards, well, I don't know. I guess we're supposed to have another election. Anyway, That's one of the mandates. Okay, so it removes all, and here's a very important part for you, Nori. It removes all dark cabal agents and administration officials and all members of the U.S. Congress from their positions due to their continuous unconstitutional actions. So the war against the dark cabal and its agents has been an ongoing process with the President Trump's Drain the Swamp campaign, and which has not been reported in the mainstream media, but it's a very real war, and it's being coordinated in cooperation with the Earth Alliance and the Galactic Federation of Light. GESARA also initiates a new U.S. Treasury banking system in alignment with the Constitution of the United States. And in March 27th, just a few days ago, QAnon issued a message number 3904 that said, "Patriots in control of the Federal Reserve System." As you may know, QAnon has been issuing messages to the world going on now for about 2.5 years about the takedown of the dark cabal in the American government. And let's see, so David Wilcox came out with a YouTube video on the Great Pandemic #2. It's a 5-hour video, but it's really a lot of awesome information in it. But in that information, he actually claims to have confirmed the identity of QAnon. And as you know, QAnon has been this cryptic person or persons that have been issuing these messages, and nobody really knows who it is except QAnon.
Yeah.
But David claims that he has confirmed it, and his confirmation is that it is the Alliance and Trump's administration. At about the 4-minute mark, he identifies that. And that kind of makes sense to me, because it would take an insider in a top position to issue those kinds of messages. So we will probably see some other channels.
Some of the pictures that he has shown come from inside the Oval Office, and not too many people have access to that. So I think you're absolutely right. It's got to be in his own administration.
Mm-hmm. I believe that too. Yeah. So GESARA also creates a new U.S. rainbow currency that's backed by gold, silver, platinum, and precious metals. And we got a report from the Restored Republic compiled by Judy Byington on the Operation Disclosure website that said President Trump signed the gold treaty almost 5 months ago in November 1st of 2019, and 3 days later, the gold standard became effective worldwide and fully implemented in all 209 countries. And she also reported on March 29th that evidently in the last week of March this month, the fiat U.S. dollar, that's the Federal Reserve notes we're now using, they also became gold backed. So everything is, I wanted to also mention that about 2 years ago, in March 22nd of 2018, a bill was introduced into the U.S. House of Representatives that referred to Bill H.R. 5404, which was the return to a gold-backed U.S. dollar. So this has kind of been in the works up on Capitol Hill for a couple of years now. So,
when you hear something like that written into a bill, you know there's something to it. So they are talking about creating a new currency system that brings it back to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution, where it says money is gold and silver coin.
You're a little bit more up on that than I am. I'm better at spending money than I am keeping it.
Speaking of spending, there's a question from the chat room. It says, Will GESARA help make housing more affordable? Housing keeps going through the roof. That is the truth. It does keep going high.
Well, that's one of the mandates of GESARA. It releases unprecedented prosperity funds in a share the wealth redistribution program for every individual on Earth, as well as the release of enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes across the planet. And here in the United States, President Trump just signed that $2.2 trillion stimulus bill. And now there's talk from the lawmakers. They're already planning more coronavirus stimulus after this $2 trillion package. But in my view, this is kind of like in alignment with this GESARA mandate. And I guess it kind of remains to be seen still. But I'm hoping that they can kind of somehow work this GESARA mandate into more stimulus packaging.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Even the $2 trillion, I have no problem with that, because if the United States Treasury is doing it, they are only doing the same thing as was done before during the American Revolution, when the president issued greenback dollars, and he spent $2 million into existence. They didn't borrow it into existence, but he spent it into existence. They're doing the same thing.
And that was gold back at that time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So GESARA also enables the release of over 6,000 patents from suppressed technologies that are being withheld from the public under the guise of national security. This includes free energy devices, anti-gravity propulsion systems, and sonic healing machines. Maybe you've heard of the med beds and the replicators. This would be included in that too. Yeah, med beds for the audience members who are not aware of that. These are kind of like miracle machines that will restore the body's health to 100% full health. And replicators, they will replicate anything you want.
Yeah,
that's the way it's been explained to me. I suppose you could. I don't know if you can use it for dark purposes, because both med beds and replicators operate on the tachyon and plasma energy and controllable AI, artificial intelligence. And so, everything is going towards light. I assume that these are operating in the light as well. So if you ask for anything in the dark nature, it probably won't work.
Well, what if you're addicted to adrenochrome? Then do you need a med bed?
Oh, that would help. That would help a great deal. Yeah, just lay in the med bed. It scans over you and it takes out all addictions. It takes out.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. I totally sent that down a wrong side street. If you're addicted to adrenochrome and you're getting all the benefits that you get from adrenochrome, would you even consider going in a med bed? I think that's a better way to ask that.
That's a good question. That's above my pay grade to answer.
Me too. Me too.
I think.
Hang on, let me call the Pleiadians because they know. I know they know.
There you go. Yeah, do that. They would know for sure. That's where we got the technology from, anyway.
Hello.
Speaking of the Pleiadian, you mentioned also that on the break you mentioned something about a mass landing.
Yes, I did, and. Let's see. Where was
Sounds like a family reunion.
It's been like a couple of years ago a couple of years ago we received a message from Sananda, who is the higher self of Master Jesus. And he said, your galactic brothers and sisters of the light are now planning a major landing on the surface of Gaia. The first wave of landings will be led by a spiritually advanced race of beings known as the Pleiadians. So I've been staying on top of this story because I want to see this mass landing.
I do too.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, this event is ready to go, but it's as ready to go as the human collective consciousness is ready for it.
Right.
Because if it was to happen today, we could have mass hysteria on the planet. So, the human collective consciousness worldwide needs to actually be prepared for this. And this is kind of like where some of the work with like Corey Good and David Wilcox and Dr. Stephen Greer and some of the other folks in that vein is helping to expose the ET cover-up and disclose the ET presence on Earth. So let's see. I wanted to kind of get back to the quantum financial system. We got a few minutes left. This quantum financial system transforms the entire global banking system. It puts integrity and transparency back into the system and restores financial privacy for the individual and eliminates corrupt banking practices worldwide. It's a technology that was given to us by our benevolent galactics. In fact, in a message in July 2018, the Galactic Federation of Light reported that we have provided the Earth Alliance, those are the good guys, with a new computer system, the quantum financial system, which will eliminate the stealing or manipulation of money. It's designed to be the death of the central banking system, which is the means by which the dark cabal keeps humanity in debt slavery. Now, it's affectionately called QFS as well, and it's a super advanced, out of this world technology that the dark cabal does not have. It can hold massive amounts of data on a size of a grain of sand. And let's see, its power source is not electricity and it's not even crystals. It's alive with consciousness, powered by the limitless energy source of life itself. It's quantum multidimensional consciousness. And let's see, it was launched on June 22nd of 2018, according to a woman by the name of Kim Possible, who claims to have programmed the quantum financial computer. And so every nation signed the Paris Agreement on climate change has accepted this new quantum financial system, and it's ready to go. Its funds will be, I guess the funds will be digital, so we might be looking eventually at a cashless society on the horizon for us.
How amazing would that be?
Now, the nice thing about this is it's hack-proof. Nobody can hack into it, and it cannot be misused or accessed without permission. So I've heard where it has been attempted to be hacked by the Dark Cabal, and the system has the ability to locate the hacker's computer server and send a signal back to the server and destroy the server.
Wow.
So now I like that too. There's a way to calculate the wealth of a nation by using the QFS, but I call that quantum economics, and that again is above my pay grade to understand. So I'm going to leave that for other people to explain.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So how many Pleiadians are coming? I just want to make sure I have enough lasagna for them.
Well, I'll tell you, 25 years ago when I was working with Master Kirill, he said that the Galactic Federation of Light had arrived, and most of them were Pleiadians, I guess. And he said at that time that there was no parking space in the atmosphere for the motherships. It had all been taken.
Wow.
So all through these years, I've been following that, and I understand that the entire solar system now is filled up with motherships from not only Pleiadians, but the Arcturians and Sirians and other ET civilizations. In fact, Jared Rand said not too long ago that there are over 100 ET species on the planet right now. So we're looking at millions and millions, maybe billions. We got a lot of help on this ascension process.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, if all that's happening and there's no parking space in the universe, not for nothing, but I'm feeling a little left out. I mean, hello. Oh my goodness. We have
get in touch with your Pleiadian friends and ask them to beam you up. You can visit their ships.
I've been
doing that every week.
I'm waiting.
Okay.
We have about 5 minutes until the
okay.
end.
Let me just, since we just got a little bit of time, this will take only a few minutes. I'd like to talk about the Worldwide Enlightenment event. It was about a year and a half ago. We received a message from Divine Mother God that said a Worldwide Enlightenment event is imminent, and she calls it her tsunami of love. Mm. And this is what she says about it. She says, "My wave will simply flood your being with everlasting, unconditional love. It doesn't matter if you're outside or inside or possibly sleeping. When the wave washes over you, you will feel joy, excitement, contentment, ease, and my unconditional love. And your world and your lives will change greatly after the wave passes." Now, that hasn't happened yet, but it sounds, according to her, she says the Dark Cabal has delayed plans, and she's hesitant to give a date anymore. But she says it's still on the boards, it's still on the planning boards, and she calls it her grand flash. And so this is basically an enlightenment experience. And I know it's kind of difficult to explain an enlightenment experience to those who haven't had one, but there's nothing to fear, and there's everything to celebrate. And once it will come on very gently, most likely it will come on that's how mine came on, very gently, and then it gets kind of brighter, the light gets brighter and brighter, and then the wave of unconditional love just washes over you, and you really do know who you are. I mean, this is a real wake-up call. So this is, would be considered, I've called it the creme de la creme of the human experience because once you have it, there's no doubt in your mind who you are.
Yeah, I can imagine what that would be like because I've had feelings like that in meditation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah. Yes, you can access that in meditation. You do have to go deep, but it's there. It's available because that light. We are that light. We are that quantum multidimensional light in human form.
All right. So I'm going to drop a little bomb before we go. I just need to pull up the quote that I just heard. I did listen to the president today, and something that he said really, really stood out to me. And I'm going to quote it. He said, "Things are going to get better soon, and it's going to be like a burst of light." He just said those words tonight.
Wow, that's pretty cosmic, all right.
Right?
All
Is that
right.
cosmic or what?
Well, I'd like to know what QAnon says about that.
I know.
Yeah. So now we only got 1 minute left. So how do people get a hold of you, Dennis? How can they get in touch? Tell me.
Well, yeah, my website is www.blissfulvisions.com, blissfulvisions.com, and everything that we've talked about tonight, GESARA, the quantum financial system, the worldwide enlightenment event, the Palladian mass landings. There's articles on my website about this. You can read a little bit more in depth about it. And if you want to get a hold of me by my email is on my About page. And just send me an email. I'll be happy to answer it. Okay. And that's how you can get a hold of me.
Okay. Thank you very much for being with us, Dennis.
Bye.
I want to thank you, Augie and Nori, for inviting me on the world program, and I want to thank all the listening audience for listening, and God bless you both, and God bless the audience.
Well, thank you. See you next week.
You've been listening to Broadcast Team Alpha.
Broadcast Team Alpha.
Hosted by Nori Love and Augie Nost. Every Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. The balance of power is shifting to a new paradigm. Will you be ready? For more information on Broadcast Team Alpha, as well as the hosts, Nori Love and Augie Nost, please visit their website at broadcastteamalpha.com. Until next week, remember to keep those minds open while always exploring the endless quantum possibilities.
Broadcast Team Alpha. Over and out.
This is KCOR Las Vegas, home of the Digital Radio Network, broadcasting from a shack just south of Area 51.
Wait, that doesn't exist.
This is the KCOR Digital Radio Network. Now for the news.